Hi, I'm Steve Blass, and you're watching Bucco Banter. Just a quick story, gentlemen, about a ball that Willie McCovey hit in Forbes Field. This is all that's left of it, but if you want to see the rest of this baseball, just take a look at the eastern sky around 11 o'clock each night, and you can see this ball still in rotation around the Earth. This is all that's left.
Really got a hold of it there, didn't he?
Really? Really?
Thanks for that insight, Fred.
You're all
this is
over
the kind of
this
stuff you get on Bucco Banter.
You know what, Fred?
Really got a hold of that, Steve.
Live from Studio 3, and then heavily edited for content, it's Bucco Banter. Introducing your hosts, originally from somewhere near Newcastle and now being a good husband and father when he's not running off by himself to PNC Park, it's Fred Rossano. A Pittsburgh Pirates fan since before he was born and still residing in his parents' basement when he's not sleeping in the Pirates clubhouse, it's Matthew Peaslee. Finally, he may look like a piece of plastic on a stick, but he has a life of his own, and he's the real expert on Bucco Banter. It's Pirate Panda!
Well, recently, it's getting pretty cold outside, so the baseball hot stove has been warming us up and keeping us in tune with what's going on. And most recently, here in December, we got word that the Pirates have non-tendered Pedro Alvarez, making him a free agent and thus ending his Pirates career. Really a big part of the Pirates' turnaround, the 3 playoff appearances. One of my favorite Pedro moments that was back in 2011, August 7th, his walk-off home run against the Rockies, and you guys had the call on that one, and it was pretty special.
One of your favorites, Matt. Not necessarily some of the fans. Stephen got a little critical, mainly because at that time the Pirates were in the midst of their 20 years of losing, and so the biggest criticism I got, and I think Steve shares it, is it what are you getting so excited about a last place team essentially in the middle of the summer, meaningless game, blah blah blah. Well, I've always said. Have you listened, again, this is no disrespect to anybody else, one of my best friends is Mike Lang. Have you ever listened to a preseason hockey game? Or Myron Cope when he was still living, and to a degree Bill Hillgrove for a preseason football game, how excited they get? So we were excited because we thought that Pedro's arrival was marking the beginning of the turnaround for the Pirates. That's kind of the way I felt. It was a big home run in that respect.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's a moment. So you don't have to consider the standings or the record. You have moments in baseball games that it's exciting where you, no matter what's happening around, and jump out of the booth. My goodness, it's a game. You're supposed to have some fun.
Recently, there was, I think, a Monday night or a Sunday night football game. It was the Ravens and the Browns, and the Ravens, I guess, won it on a blocked field goal at the end, all the way back. Okay, pick six. I didn't know what the timing was of this. So it was just this past weekend. But I listened to the radio play-by-play call. And you'd have thought these guys were heading to the Super Bowl.
Both it was a crazy
meaningless, but my point is a meaningless game. I just wonder if there's any criticism on those guys because their teams are going nowhere.
You live for exciting moments.
You live for the moments, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially with what the Pirates had gone through, and that was a shining moment for them.
And it's kind of tough that you have to part ways with a guy. But we were asked earlier today, Steve and I, whether we were surprised that they non-tendered him. It would have been a shocker to me if they had tendered him. You cannot, and this is no disrespect to him because we both root for Pedro. We've gotten to know him and his family. His wife Kelly, what a great lady. They just had their first child. His dad and his mom, his sister, just great people. He means well. He wants to do well, but you can't rely on a guy like that.
He's always been one of those polarizing players.
Oh,
yeah,
and even on our
lightning rod.
Occasionally he hits the home run that you don't see, but maybe once a year. That Titanic home, the monster shot that that's what intrigues you about him. But it didn't come frequently enough. And you couldn't rely on that glove.
Yeah. The foundation is winning, and it's a business. There's that entire aspect. There's 2 sides of the Alvarez coin. You root for him because we've gotten to know him, and he cares. He really cares. He really tries. He works hard. It's just not there on a consistent enough basis. So you got to make difficult decisions. But it's that way in the game now. It's always been that way. The bottom line is you have to win. I had a manager tell me one time when he was told he's got a lot of really young men who are great in the community and fine young men. He said, that's great. He said, but give me give me 25 jerks that can play, and we'll teach them PR in the offseason. And Pedro is certainly not in that category. He's a good person. He's a solid person. Wish him all the best. I hope he goes over to the American League and hits 50 home runs. I really do. I root for him because you start off with knowing a person, and he cares. He cares about what he does. It just didn't work.
His fate was sealed in that wild card game. To me, that's when I knew they weren't going to tend to him. When he's not in the starting lineup for the wild card game against a right-handed pitcher, it's over. But that was the tough thing for Clint Hurdle. Hurdle had to go through this every single day this past year, of when to decide to start Pedro Alvarez. Certain lefties, maybe. But then, even when he did put him in the starting lineup in a close ball game, 5th or 6th inning, do I pull him out now? That was heart-wrenching for Clint Hurdle to have to do that every single day. And I think the organization decided, it's not fair to Pedro Alvarez. It's not fair to whoever it was, Sean Rodriguez. That's no fun, being a caddy, which is what he was, coming into the 7th inning for maybe getting 2 or 3 balls thrown to you for Sean Rodriguez, a professional player. Not fair to him, not fair to Pedro, not fair to Clint, not fair to the organization. As Steve said, wish him well, hope he succeeds as a DH. Maybe he'll relax. And I found the last couple of years, I don't know if Steve agrees, I'm hoping that he finds joy and happiness again. I felt like when he walked into that clubhouse, there was just this tenseness. He tried to hide from the media. He's not comfortable with the media. He didn't like to answer questions.
He's a shy person.
Very shy.
Going
very
in
shy.
As an individual.
So I really hope that he finds great joy and happiness wherever he goes.
Great.
He, I know. Do you think he was aware of what was going to happen there?
Oh, sure.
I do.
Yeah,
Neal Huntington called him during the day to let him know that they were not going to do it. He appreciated it. And Pedro had said a couple weeks ago to someone that maybe it was time to move on. So, and I think, again, Pedro, he's a smart guy too. Not only is he a compassionate guy and a caring person, but he's a smart guy. And when he's not in the starting lineup for the wild card game, he knows it's over.
Do you think he was surprised, or was it surprising that there were no takers as far as even a trade?
Well,
you
never
that,
know
that
what
can
goes
change.
on.
That can
Yeah.
change in a minute.
Yeah.
That can change in a minute. It's a tough package because he's going to make a lot of money. He's not going to play on a regular basis. He's not going to hit for an average, as it stands now. And if you want to write a big check for Pedro, you've got to hope that he's going to give you 40 home runs.
Well, not only that, but you have 1 year left on this contract. So whatever team trades for Pedro this offseason, they're only getting a year out of him. And so they're not going to give up anything to a guy who's struggling, that everybody knows that Pirates are trying to trade him. So I don't think that Pedro was surprised that he wasn't dealt.
Getting back to what something else that you guys sort of touched on a little bit. What do you think through the how many years has Clint Hurdle been there now? 5 years. Mm-hmm. What do you think? How did the culture change? Is there anything in particular, or what transpired there to sort of, like he was saying about the home run here or the home run there, that sort of changed things around? Or McCutcheon or
Clint is a very good manager. I mean, and he's like most managers in my mind. He's a product of his talent. The talent got better. They started playing better. Casey Stengel was a great manager with the Yankees. He didn't do too well with the Mets.
No, he did.
Baseball is unique in that way. So many games. You can't fool anybody. The NFL has a 16-game schedule. You might trick somebody for 2 or 3 games. It might make a difference if you get in the playoffs or not. But baseball, it's just such a grind with a volume of games. A manager is going to be very good when he has very good talent. Joe Madden really walked into
Lou Piniella
a good
was a great
situation.
example.
Piniella,
They thought that Tampa Bay Rays were going to win when they brought him in from Seattle. The Cubs thought they were going to win when they brought him into Chicago. Didn't happen because he didn't have the talent. Well, one thing I do think that separates Clint from, first of all, he likes to say he's all in. Mm-hmm. We had managers in the past who didn't live in Pittsburgh, who would come do their job in the summer and then leave and go home and leave the region. Clint decided he was going to be here all year long, and I think that's been very helpful in that he goes into the office a lot, talks to Huntington, talks to Frank Coonley, Bob Nutting, sees the front office people, and he's lobbied to get guys. I remember he talked to me about the phone call he made to Russell Martin one off season, encouraging him to come. He's talked to Neal Huntington about that, so they're on the same page. I think that's a really important issue with him.
Right, and he is part of the Neal Huntington era.
Yeah.
Neal Huntington is the best general manager in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about the deals he has made and not made, the guts he had to get really grilly, hand in hand, when they were at the top of their game, having the guts to say, I believe in Mark Melanson. I mean, look, just
Trading
take a,
for
take,
A.J.
yeah,
Burnett,
take a look
getting
at the
Francisco
acquisitions.
Liriano.
There's nobody. This general manager of the year in the has been a joke. Has
Yeah.
been a joke because he should
finished
retire the
second
trophy.
So basically, he's the National League General Manager of the Year because American League GMs have won it the last couple of years. But we still, in the last few days, talking to people, and since Pedro has not been tendered a contract, the outrage now. How can the Pirates do this? We still don't have faith in this guy. Every time he makes it, and I'm to blame. When last off season, I said, "Who the heck is Jung Ho Gang? What are we doing with this guy?" Who is Francisco Cervelli? He just is injury-riddled guy, and they should have kept Russell Martin for the 5-year, $100 million contract, whatever the heck it was. As he said, Mark Millan, how can you trade Joel Hanrahan? How can you let Jason Grilli go? Time and time again, this guy does it to the criticism of all of us, and yet just stays the course, and they continue to win.
Yeah, he
He
picks up,
deserves the benefit of the doubt.
In
No
Neal,
one
I
said you
trust.
don't.
That's my mantra.
yeah,
In Neal, I
and
trust.
picks up Jay Happ.
Yeah.
Oh, he-
And
Yeah.
tell me,
And
let
now-
me tell you about the
Great
state of economics in
second half.
baseball.
Yeah.
How
2.5
about-
months, he gets $36 million,
and
and it doesn't bother him.
But when the Pirates traded for Jay Happ, and I was to blame, Jay Happ, that was the reaction. Jay Happ, look at this journeyman. Why in the world? That's not going to help this team win. Now, the outrage is they didn't keep Jay Happ after 2.5
Funny how
months.
that happens.
Yeah.
Over a course of a couple months.
Yeah.
There.
And he performed better in the second half than
Yeah.
Cueto or
Right,
Price. And they're-
absolutely.
And the criticism came. A lot of the critics had said, "Why don't you?" They didn't get anybody big. And in the other year there, when they got Justin Morneau and Marlon Byrd, it was the same sort of setup there, where they said, "Oh, they didn't get any big names." Where that was the first year they made the playoffs, and last year they basically, or 2 years ago, they basically did nothing. We're in the playoffs again. And then last year they were criticized for not making a big deal, and they only got Happ because A.J. Burnett got.
Yeah,
got
the
it.
criticism just keeps coming. He just keeps taking it.
Well-
and they keep. I'm on Twitter now, so I had some Twitter wars
Are
last
you
night.
really?
Yes, I know. Steve just found out that his phone can leave the car.
Yeah, my flip phone opens
He
up.
no longer calls it a car phone.
Like the bat-
But yeah, so I got a little bit of a Twitter war because people were just saying, well, here they go again. Here they. I said, Nutting, because they criticized Bob Nutting, cheap Bob Nutting. That's all you hear, cheap Bob Nutting, and Neal Huntington, and they could, all these guys have done. Huntington and Nutting and Coonley and now Hurdle is win. And somebody said, win what? I said, how about
Win
98
98
games,
games.
last 3 years, second most in all of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, if you're
I
gonna
mean,
judge
what
your
do you
ball
want
club-
to do? They're winning.
Yeah.
In fact, you could make an argument, because it's always what have you done for me lately, that the last 2 or 3 years, the Pirates are one of the top 5 organizations in all of sports, let alone baseball. You could make
Baseball
that
America
argument.
just named
The
him
Organization
award
of the
this
year.
year.
And if you judge a baseball team by what they do in the postseason,
Yeah,
then
you're
you
wrong.
don't know the game.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the evaluation of a game is over 162 games.
You still want to win.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
World
and
Series,
God
that's
bless the World
ultimately,
Series winner.
it's that ring that he's wearing.
Absolutely.
That's what they're after.
But if you're going to evaluate a baseball team, you better not do it on a 5 or out of 4, whatever the
Best of
4
5,
out of-
yeah.
You're watching Bucco Banter.
No, you are.
Well, that's what we are. Boy, what you could do with this if this were real, huh?